Good day. It's Monday morning. Very busy down here. There's a lot going on at the plot next door to me, and they're sort of putting edge beds in and things like that, and there's a team of friends down to help. And I've been down here just sort of reclaiming this area a little, cutting back the stinging nettles quite considerably, and most have gone into the, well, half have gone into the general compost which we set up last week, and the other half, which had more bindweed in it, has gone into the perennial weed compost bin, because the stinging nettles here will really help invigorate the compost bins. I've still got this one here to empty. That's a perennial weed bin. It did actually have quite a lot of ants in it. Well, it's still got quite a lot of ants in it, I think. But yeah, I'm going to need to do that, which may be this week, maybe next week. Our shredded paper bin is pretty empty now. I've got shredded paper I can do at home, so I will do that and bring that back down. And then, of course, I've been raking up and strimming. This is the path between me and our next door. This is one plot up to the shed here, and then that's another plot. Both of those are half plots. So I've strimmed up here. You can see where I've got to in terms of strimming. I actually stopped. The battery didn't die, but I stopped here because I then wanted to strim between our beds to try and keep on top of the strimming of these. And as I come over here, you can see that I've hand weeded this bed and this bed. This is where we put the compost from the perennial compost bin last week. I'm just going to leave that lot in there. I've got some more compost to come out, which will go into this one. But today what I'm going to do, after I've just leveled that out a bit, is get our tomatoes in, which really, I mean, I've never had such weedy tomatoes. I mean, you know, they're strengthening up, but the growth on them is really quite minimal. And I'm just hoping that once they do get in the ground, they'll actually get away from themselves, or get away with themselves, maybe that would be better. So yeah, I'm just going to be placing these out and digging a hole and putting them in. As you can hear, it's quite noisy, so I'll most probably see you afterwards. I've positioned our tomatoes out. These are Amish paste up to here. Then we've got Rose de Bairn. Then we've got Isle of Wight. Then we've got Magic Mountain. And then these three, I can't remember. Oh, those are Black Crim. So let me move back. Black Crim, Magic Mountain, Isle of Wight Yellow, Rose de Bairn and Amish paste. So I've positioned them out now, and I'm just going to pop them in. I'm wondering, I might actually just tuck them a little further in, because I'm wondering whether I can grow something down the edge. I'm sure I can. I think when I plant them in, I'm just going to plant them an extra couple of inches in to give a little bit more space down the edge here. Yeah, that sounds sensible to me. I think if it wasn't for the markers, you could hardly see them. They're just tiny little plants this year. Really struggled to grow. As I say, I'm sure it's something to do with the compost. But they're in. I've had a good hunt around here for slugs and snails and removed all that I can see. And just as I used a judicious sprinkling of slug pellets over there yesterday, I'm going to be using a judicious sprinkling along here as well. I don't usually do it, but the amount of slugs and snails this year are just extraordinary. I mean, really are. I thought, as we had the brassicas in here, I thought just before I put these in, and when I took the brassicas that were here on the bed to the dead hedge, I thought, oh, I might actually put the tomatoes in here and then brassicas in here. But when I pulled up the detritus, there were so many slugs and snails in here that was an immediate no-go. So yeah, we do have a little oak. Did we look at that the other day? A little oak growing there. I'll take that out at some point. But now, before I close off for the day, I'm just going to give these a little bit of a water, even though we're due 3 hours of rain later on today. I'm going to give them a little bit of water, and as I say, judicious. Look at that one. Look. Where's he come from? Honestly. That one's going to go onto our compost heap. You know, and I'm so good to them usually. I pop them onto our compost heap. Hey ho, hey ho. Well, fingers crossed for our tomatoes. Usually my tomatoes are virtually root bound in the pot. Not this year. And I'm noticing that even though there's decent roots on things, the root systems this year aren't as extensive in either our modules or our pots than we have had previously with different compost. So yeah, I'm sort of tending towards that. The slow growth in much of our seedlings this year and poor germination might be down to the compost, and then that has been exacerbated with the weather that we've had. I mean, it's gloriously sunny at the moment and rather warm. It's about 18 degrees. I'm in shirt sleeves. Not sure if you saw that, but I'm in shirt sleeves and it's lovely out there in the sun. But the rain is due in about an hour and a half, and the temperatures are going to get down to about 9 degrees overnight, where normally I'd expect at this time of year for us to be 10 degrees and above, generally sitting 11-12 degrees. Maybe that's just my memory playing games with me, you know, I don't know. So yes, a judicious sprinkling of slug pellets on around the tomato plants, and also just generally around that bed. I mean, you know, the slugs are going to be coming up, I think, through the ground, and you know, if they come up at the edge and want to go over to a tomato, I'd rather they found a pellet that they could sort of munch on virtually straight away. Though yeah, a light scattering, not as I see on other people's plots, you know, a beacon of bright blue on people's plots, which is completely the wrong thing to do. And I've also done similar in our frame here with the wire mesh top with our brassicas, because our brassicas are being eaten despite them being 2 levels up, and I can't see any snails in there. They are being eaten too. I mean, usually the brassicas would be in by now. You know, tomatoes would be bigger. Yeah, I can only put it down to compost. Or my inadequacy. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. Even our potatoes are being munched on by slugs and snails this year. You know, it's going to be one of those years. Right, I'm going to go. I think despite it being about 1 o'clock, I think oh, my temperature thing has gone. Oh, my thermometer gauge, it's all the characters are all wrong. Could be the battery, but I think water may have got in there. Anyway, yeah, despite it being like 1 o'clock, I think I'm going to go home and have a glass of wine. I know there's one in the fridge. Right, I will see you later in the week at some point. Bye. Good day. It's now Wednesday afternoon. Well, it's about 6:30, I think. I've just popped down because I thought I would put beans in. I thought I'd put some lettuce in over here, and I thought I'd do beans between the tomato rows and on the edges as well, so sort of like a line down here. And that one there has been nibbled. These seem okay for the moment. That one there you can see no sign of. That one there, no sign of. This one here, clearly been well nibbled. That one too. That one's sort of okay. That one's okay. This one is just some sort of twiggy bits there. And that one cut off in its prime. Oh. I mean, you know, so demoralizing. It really is. Yeah, I can see there's a snail just there. I'm not sure if you can see it over there. But I think this is slugs. And I don't know. Looking down here, can't see any slugs. I think they're in the soil. Maybe they've moved over from this bed. I think I said to you the other day that when I did this bed there was lots of slugs there. I did put some slug pellets down, but clearly if they did munch on the slug pellets, which have gone, they also weren't stopped from eating the tomatoes as well. So what have we got left? Over there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 maybe sort of 9 and 2 halves. No, 10 and 2 halves. No, 9 and 2 halves, making 11. Oh, I don't know. Lovely. This is lovely though, look at that. Rather beautiful. It's coming off darker on camera, I think, than it is. Very few. Carrots remain here. A few over there. Beetroot. Yeah, it seems to be okay. I'm finding the chard looking very much like beetroot. I know it's chard. But yeah, I'm not sure if you can see there's some here that have been eaten. But everyone is saying this year, slugs and snails, particularly slugs, particularly slugs. Yeah. Oh dear. Hey ho. Hey ho. I was thinking a couple of days ago, oh, I'm not sure if I've got enough beds this year. You know, I know I've still got some to prepare, blah, blah, blah. But do I have enough beds? At this rate, I've got plenty of beds because whatever I'm putting in is being eaten. Honestly, so frustrating. It really is. And considering that I mainly have a plot for my own sort of mental health and well-being, slightly frustrating. Oh dear, yeah, laughing rather than crying again. Oh dear. But I have bought some seeds this year, some bean seeds. I decided I'm just going to do bush beans, and that's most probably the sensible thing, because I don't think any would actually climb this year. I think that they would just be eaten to the ground. So actually I decided that I was going to just do bush beans. I think Jane Kelly's mainly doing bush beans as well. And that means that all our saved seed I will use another year, because most of it is for climbing beans. So I have bought bush borlotti, I have bought bush rockencore, which is a bush anyway, and I've bought this sort of flat French bean as well. Yeah, and I've been thinking, you know, I'm going to sow them between the tomatoes, and I'm just going to have to do that. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and hope that the slugs, and mainly slugs I think, don't bite the seedlings. I'll do that tomorrow. Honestly, and I was looking at our brassicas. Our brassicas have also been munched a bit, and then I saw a pigeon landing on our gooseberries, which I hadn't covered. So it feels as though it should be. Oh, did you hear that? I'm not sure, you might have heard that. I've just seen the sparrowhawk. They go fast. They go really fast. I was just thinking to myself, you know, maybe I sort of want to press the reset button on this year. I thought I was sort of well prepared, but yeah, there's still long grass, the flower border bed, you know, all of that. My own fault. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I'm taking joy in the Santolina here, which is going to be quite glorious when it comes out. I think it's just beginning to sort of snip into the yellow. You can see it's going to be a yellow flower, and the that purple one, I can never remember what that purple one is, but it was given to me by a plot neighbour, 2 over and 1 back, a few years ago. So yeah. The lavenders are going to look fantastic this year. The wild chicory are going to look fantastic this year. Slugs and snails don't really like the wild chicories, so they grow quite happily. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a bung it in and hope for the best. And yeah, do I go to a garden centre and get more tomatoes? No. And I'm going to have to put a message on our own WhatsApp group as well about our gate sale in 3 weeks time, 4 weeks time, less than 4 weeks time, because I mean, apart from plants I've been given and a couple of plants that I already had, things that I would be selling at that gate sale, like cucumbers, like courgettes, like tomatoes, beans, you know, the germination and the growth rate on those things so far has been really slow and negligible, as I've said. So, and I know other people are saying the same thing, so I'm wondering, will we actually have, you know, tables of things to sell at the gate sale than like we normally do? I'm just not sure. I'm not so sure. I'm really not. Anyway, never mind, never mind. I'm going to go home. I can feel my name being called from that bottle of Suave in the fridge. I can hear it being called. So I think I'm going to go home, have a glass of wine, and think about sowing beans tomorrow. Yeah, that's all. I've just seen it here, I also need to take my model home, because a fellow plotter right down the bottom, the one that had his brassicas eaten by ants, he's got the same model as I have. I think his is slightly different. I think ours is GLC 3630L, and I think his is GLC 3630. But I'm just going to take a photo of this before I go home. The easiest way to remember is to take a photo of something, because he doesn't really do the internet. So I'm going to look for a battery for him, because his battery died and it's not charging. So that's one of the things I was going to talk to you about last week, and I just sort of rambled on about other rubbish instead. So yeah, so I'm going to look for him to see if I can find the battery. It's really difficult sometimes, you know, when you've had something for 4 or 5 years, finding a replacement battery can be quite challenging sometimes. And you think, oh yeah, it's that one. And on things like Amazon and eBay, it says, you know, this battery will fit this model. And then you get it and you try and fit it, and it doesn't. So yeah, I'll need to have a really good look at the battery that I see online to make sure it's got the right, you know, the right bits that fit in here and slide down, and you know, all of that. So yeah, anyway, rambling, doing a good turn for somebody after my tomatoes have been eaten by slugs. But we do have 9 2/2 left, so fingers crossed for those. I don't think we're due any rain, so I hope that the slugs will have munched everything and taken a few of those slug pellets and sort of be going to sleep in the ground. Our next door neighbour, the new plotters from just down here, they're now next to us, they have put sunken, you know, trays in with beer and things, and I must admit, I know that's pretty effective, but dealing with that sort of, you know, slug soup, it when I saw them a minute ago, it almost made me gag and you know, bleh. But yeah, I think that is pretty effective. Anyway, I'm rambling, sorry, I'm rambling. I will I'll see you very soon. I'm going to plant those beans tomorrow, so I may see you for a little bit of that. I feel this is a long one this week already. Oh, I'm being shut in. The wind has shut my door, so there we are. I'm going home. I'll have to open the door first. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. I'm doing what my uncle used to do, and our next door neighbours also do this. I'm not sure if you can see in here, but over here you can see more easily, digging a little hole and then putting 4 seeds in the hole and then just covering them up. And as you can see, I've done the outside there, and I've watered them all as well. And I'm going to cover these up. And look at that slug. Can you see it? Just the disturbance of the soil has brought it to the surface. That's going to go on our compost heap. But yeah, so I've got flat yellow French beans here, borlotti, which we're going to have semi-dried or dried in the middle, because then they can just grow, hopefully, if they don't get eaten by slugs, and dry in the middle of the remaining tomatoes. And then here I've got Rockencore, which is a favourite of ours, introduced to us by Vivi a few years ago. So they've got black seeds. These, as you can see, come over here, have got sort of borlotti type, sort of pinky browny red speckled seeds. And those over there, they were rather lovely actually. They were sort of like pearlized black round seeds. But I'm just going to finish off this and cover them up, as you saw me do a moment ago, and give them a water. Though I do think, well, not I do think, it is spitting at the moment. The sun has gone and clouds are beginning to roll in. We're due rain. We are due rain. I mean, we're forecast rain. I don't mean that we're due it as in we need it, but we're due it as in it's been forecast. Yeah, I can feel it quite dripping quite a lot, so I'm going to finish off this job and jump into the shed. I feel a tad like a drowned rat now, and it is chucking it down. I hadn't expected to have this much rain, this heaviness of rain, weight of rain. Vivi was laughing at me because a few years ago I was talking about medium weight rain and lightweight rain and heavyweight rain. Yeah, we've had them all this year, and we're having heavyweight rain at the moment. I mean, you know, good for the growing plants. It's natural, you know, water from the skies, which is fabulous. So there's no chlorine in it, etc., etc. But boy, you know, the slugs will be out, of course. The slugs will be out. Oh, it's lightening up a bit now. Yeah, I am going to go home. I think I'm going to see you for a very quick segment later in the week. But it seems to, yeah, I say it seems to be lightening up, and then it gets a bit heavier again. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to get home because I don't know how long this is going to last. So I might as well, I've done my job, might as well go home. Yeah. There we are. See you very soon. Bye. Good day. It's Saturday morning, and when I came down, magpies were on top of our strawberries. Look, that's been picked off, that's been picked off here, picked off. You can see one lying there, you can see 2 lying down there. I think nature is, oh look, there's one lying in there, can you see down there? I think nature is really conspiring. Look, oh no, that's actually still attached, but those aren't. Yeah, I think nature is definitely conspiring against us this year. However, I think a Magpie has left a sort of bit of fertilizer there on those cucumbers, so maybe it's chosen those to grow well, or maybe it's chosen those to grow well so that you can eat it, or eat them rather. I brought these out the other day because I just need them to grow on out here. You know, if I can spin around, oh, the Santolina, I was saying about it yellowing up. You can mostly see here the yellow of it, so it's beginning to open, which is lovely. But we had we were expecting blue skies and sun today. When I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock, it was absolutely glorious, and now grey skies. And another of our tomatoes has been eaten, so we've now got 9 1/2 of a tomato. But you know what, on the positive side, it might mean that I can take the tomatoes out of this bed, apart from one, and put something else in there. Though I'm not sure what else I can put in there that isn't going to be eaten. Maybe that oak, maybe I should just have a beds of oak. Oh, and down here the carrots are reducing in number still, even more. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look at our radish. They're all looking rather grand in leaf, but there's just nothing really developing below. You see that one in there? It's just, I'm going to pull this one out. Look, that for me is a pretty decent radish. I mean, this is how my radish do each time. And yes, I know you can eat the radish leaves, and I know you can let radish go to seed and then eat the pods. I know you can do that, but I actually rather like radish. And I think you'll agree that even if I picked 50 of these, it's not going to be very much on a plate. Did I notice one the other day? One that might have been, oh, maybe I didn't, maybe it's decided, oh no, there, look, that one in there, maybe that's deciding to bulk up a bit. When I say a bit, I mean the size of a nail. Oh no, maybe there's two. Look, can you see down here, one here? But yeah, let's just have a chat about the Can't Grow Radish Club. Yes, so I'm going to start a Can't Grow a Radish Club. Can't Grow a Radish Club. Yeah, that moniker doesn't really work, does it? But yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. And some people have said in last week's comments on YouTube, that is the soil too rich? Well, in here definitely not. In fact, the lettuce are growing I mean, everything's growing slowly, but the lettuce are growing much slower than I would anticipate. Maybe because the soil isn't as rich as they like. However, they are looking quite healthy, so you know, that's good. Is it because they're not watered enough? Well, no, they're watered regularly. I don't think they're overwatered. The bed is always moist, so I don't think they're being overwatered. Yeah, so they're not overwatered or underwatered. So I think they're getting the right amount of water. Do they get enough sun? Well, they're in the polytunnel, so they've got sort of warmth and they've got protection from wind. And certainly the row that is closest to me here, which will get more sun, is doing really well. The other two are not doing quite so well, so maybe it's something to do with sun. But then we look at everything else that is going on in the plot, and I think we just think, you know what, it's a challenging year. It's a challenging year. And then we've got planes going overhead as well. Oh, dearie me, dearie me. Anyway, look, I am going to leave a week at the plot there for this week. I have the cabaret and Greek dinner at First Sake this evening. It's Saturday now. Tomorrow we're going to be recording Sunday Chat tomorrow rather than today, so I want to do that and then have a quieter Sunday. So yeah, I'm going to finish it off here today. And as per usual, if you've got any comments, questions, suggestions, please do leave them down below in the comments. And if you watch this on Planet Vegetaria, or if you watch the individual segments on Planet Vegetaria, I'll see you through next week as we go along the week. And if you watch on YouTube, there'll be another full upload along in a week's time. And whatever is happening in your garden, your growing space, or your allotment, I hope it's going a tad better than it is on my plot this year. But you know what? Keep on smiling if you can. Keep on smiling. See you very soon. Bye, and happy growing.